secretly going to a hotel in the middle of a lake, but you did smoke the leaf.
It was like 30 seconds. What do you mean you didn't have time?
No, you better hope your mom and dad don't watch this video. Money can buy everything.
Hello everybody, welcome back to KU on the Record, where we talk about everything and anything, university life and young adulthood. I'm your host, Mia.
And I'm your co-host, Kun.
Okay, so second time here, how do you feel?
I feel very excited, now that midterms are over. Very happy and also nervous about my results, but more unexcited.
Yeah, how do you feel about our set today?
We have a new set today. And I actually never been here to this studio, and it looks very professional. There are like lights everywhere. There's like new cameras we have. It seems very professional.
Yeah, it's very bright.
Mm-hmm. And it's also very bright. We have like, I don't know how many lights, but we have a lot of lights here.
A lot of lights, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So did you watch our first video?
I didn't watch the full video, but I did watch our reels because I didn't have a lot of time.
Wait. Did you or did you not watch the reels? I
did watch the reels.
I
watched our reels, our first episode. I watched that reel, and then I watched there was another reel, I think, or something, but it came up on Instagram, and I was like, oh, that's the one we recorded, so I watched it.
Oh.
But I couldn't watch the whole video because, well, it was midterms.
Yeah, so I was asking you like about the reels, and you said like you didn't watch it. And I was
no.
It was like 30 seconds. What do you mean you didn't have time?
No, I didn't watch the video. I watched the reels because, like you study and then you just go on Instagram, you scroll.
You scroll for 2 hours.
Exactly. Like you study 10 minutes, you scroll 2 hours. I studied really hard today.
So, long time no see.
Long time no see. It's been very long.
Yeah. I mean, you just talk about your midterm, but how was it?
It's not. I wasn't in a good place. Let's just say that.
Okay.
I did my part.
Okay.
And now it's up to my professors to save me.
Yeah.
I tried my best.
Okay.
But let's see what the results are like. How about you? How were your midterms?
I mean, I didn't have as many exams, but for some reason I still managed to F it up. So I am impressed with myself. Yeah. So. Let's just say that we both did great.
I hope so. But when the results come out, it's a different story.
Okay, let's stay hopeful. During the exam season, I had to keep advising myself to not give up and to not quit school. And speaking of advice, that is our topic of today.
Nice. I love advices. I love receiving advices. And I also love it when there's like that moment of realization where like, oh, that advice, it really like hits deep. Like that really makes sense to me. So I'm excited for what advices we have to hear today, or what activities our PD NIM has prepared for us.
Yeah. You said you like advice?
I love receiving advice.
Okay.
I feel pressure when people come to me for advices.
Oh.
Because when you give an advice and at the end you're like, oh, but I don't know, because you don't want to
but I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know.
That's just me.
Yeah, you don't want to take responsibility of what comes after that advice. So I feel pressured giving advices, but receiving advices, especially from someone who has a lot of experiences, I like it.
Well, I can't say that I have a lot of experiences, but I actually like giving advice.
Really?
But all the time I felt like I wonder if I overstep someone's boundaries by giving advice. I think it's important for people to give advice when they are asked, and not just like okay, you hear a story and you're like, oh, okay, it's my time to shine.
Exactly. Like the person receiving their advice could be like, I didn't even ask, but like, why is this person giving all these things?
Yeah. Our title is Do and Don'ts, and the reason is that yesterday, Sunday, and the day after tomorrow, which is Wednesday, are Children's Day and Parents' Day here in Korea. And by yesterday, I mean yesterday of the day that this video is posted, and not yesterday.
Like yesterday from today. Like yesterday from yesterday. When's yesterday?
Yesterday was not Children's Day, but the 5th is Children's Day.
Okay, yesterday of the day that this video is going to be uploaded.
Exactly. You got it. Okay. Okay, so because of that, we will be reminiscing about all the advice we have received from our parents and talking about everything that is related.
So like, don't procrastinate when you study. Don't study 10 minutes, scroll through your social media for 2 hours, or like get enough sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people are not getting a lot of sleep, I think, especially during the midterms.
Okay, we're back. So let's start the conversation with some talk about our family and the rules in our family. So what's one rule in your house that you rebelled against?
Rule in our house.
I mean, first of all, do you have like rules in your house?
We did, like, cause so I have a younger brother, and we're 2. So it was me and my brother, and we had a curfew at night. And I think it was around high school, the first couple of years in high school. I wouldn't follow the curfew because you go out with your friends and you just like hang around, and like it gets late and you don't want to go home because like everyone's there, we're having a good time. And,
FOMO.
You're exactly FOMO. Like you don't want to miss out, but like your curfew's like getting near, so you're like, you know what? I'll just like I don't care about the curfew, and I'll just go home late. I think that was about it.
Then how did your parents react?
So
wait, did they know?
Yes, they knew.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not a very sneaky person. I can't really like do anything like in secret. So, and it also doesn't feel very. It was very unsettling, like because I hate lying. So like I don't want to lie. I just want to be like upfront, like I missed the curfew. Like I came home late last night, and they're like I know. And at first they were kind of upset about it, but I think like as like we got on, like they also started to understand. They're like, oh yeah, like you're only young ones. Like, you're only gonna experience this once, so like might as well just enjoy it. So after a while, they were like, just do whatever you think it's right.
It's weird because when you said like you could just go home late, I don't know, maybe because of the class that we're taking, but I immediately thought, oh, he had like a good family environment because you felt safe enough to, first of all, come home late, and second of all, not lie, right?
Yeah. I mean, because my parents also don't like lying, and I think that's kind of how I got it. I don't appreciate being lied to, and I also don't
no one
like,
does.
And I also don't like, having to tell a lie. So I guess it was a pretty safe environment. They were very understanding. Like they'd rather have the honest answer, whether they like it or not, than having to be lied to.
Yeah. Funny because I actually lied a lot.
You lie a lot.
Yeah.
To your parents?
Yeah. To
really?
Yeah. I mean, like, of course.
Oh, wow. You better hope your mom and dad don't watch this video.
Yeah, but okay. So I also had like a curfew. Well, they didn't really say like, okay, this is your curfew and you have to be home by like a specific amount like time. But so it was when I was in university. And I joined this kind of organization / club, and we had a lot of meetings. So I just told my parents, mostly my mom, that the meeting is like going too long today. Oh my God, everybody is like fighting, everybody is like arguing. I don't wanna leave because that might trigger them. I was not at the meeting.
So
I was just like, so we had this place where it's like near a lake. And the lake is actually like in the middle of the lake is like a hotel. So the lighting was kind of cool, but it's not noisy. It's very quiet, and people go there to smoke the leaf.
The leaf. Smoke the leaf. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And like to talk, and they have like music on, and it's like a very vibey, a very chill place. And we go there and to just talk. And we stay there until like 1. And then I'll be telling my mom, oh, the meeting is it's running late. Yeah.
Wait, so you would lie to your parents about being in a meeting, but secretly going to a hotel in the middle of a lake,
Yeah.
smoking the leaf?
Oh, no, not the hotel.
Oh.
It's just like next to the hotel. The lake was next to the hotel. Yeah. I'm not going to no hotel.
Okay, but you did smoke the leaf.
I didn't. Just people were.
Okay,
I
but
didn't
when
smoke no leaf
when you
because it's
get
very
home-
illegal. It's very illegal in my country as
Wait,
well.
so when you get home,
Yeah.
don't you smell like the leaf?
I don't think my parents know how the leaves smell like. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a big lie. Imagine your parents like finding out now. They're like, oh, she lied to us about being in a meeting, but she went with her friends to go smoke the leaf.
Okay.
If they don't know what the leaf is, they're probably going to say, what is the leaf?
What is the leaf?
I have a question for you. Okay, since it's my turn to ask. Did you have a rule in your family that was funny or strange or weird or something like you just didn't understand why that rule was there?
So, this is not really a rule, but it's a thing that if we don't do daily, my mom kind of got mad. And it's cleaning the house every day.
Cleaning the house.
Okay, I actually want to ask this. I want to ask this.
Okay.
Okay, how often do you guys like sweep the house and then like, mop the house?
Girl, there was a cockroach in my house yesterday. Well, I cleaned yesterday after the cockroach.
So when was the last time before yesterday?
I don't even know, dude.
Yeah.
Sweep the house?
Yeah.
Because I
Sweep and mop.
sweep and mop. Okay, sweep and mop maybe not that often. I usually I try to sweep as often as possible because I don't like it being dusty or like there being a lot of things on the floor. Like, it's kind of dirty. And also, if you sweep, you don't have to mop a lot because if you don't sweep, it's like dusty, right?
Right,
and
right.
if you like spill water or something, it's gonna like smudge or something. So
Okay.
you have to mop it. So yeah, I try to sweep or like vacuum as much as possible,
Vacuum,
but
yeah.
but mop, not really.
Yeah. Right?
You have to sweep and mop
Every day.
every day.
Every day. And you know what? So our old house was not big, but it has like 4th floor.
You have to
4
sweep and
floors.
mop 4 floors
And the
every
stairs.
day.
And the stairs. Yes. Well, maybe not 4th floors, but like at least 2. Sometimes 3. But definitely like at least 2. And the stairs.
Every day?
Every day.
Even the weekends?
Oh, the weekend is like the big cleaning day.
Oh my god!
I see the grandma.
I think it's because
Wow.
my mom is a germaphobe. Yeah.
Wow.
She always like told us like it's normal. It's normal. Everybody does it.
Now that I think about it, yeah, like that was something we did also. Like we had to
oh?
clean, yeah, we had to clean like at least like our own rooms. You had to clean and like wipe, not necessarily mop the floor, but like wipe like the table and all those stuff. Yeah. Every day.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
actually, my mom. So, okay. So the thing that I didn't understand was that my dad actually didn't help with cleaning the house. He think it's like a bit cuckoo crazy. And my brother used to help her, but then when he grew up and he had things to do, he didn't. He stopped. And then I was being a lazy little brat, so I was always pretending, oh, I have math.
Oh, you pretended
I
to
have
be busy.
chemistry to study. So most of the times it was like my mom. It was my mom cleaning the house, and she had job, and she had to work like a 9 to 5, and then she went home and then she cooked and then she mopped the house. So her one rule for herself is that whenever she went back home from work, she never like sit down to rest, because she said if you sit down and you take a rest, it's very difficult to sit like stand
get
up
back up.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
start working. So she always like went straight to the like house chores.
No, I can relate to that so
Yeah.
much. Like, it's the same for me when I study.
Yeah, so
Like, when you
I didn't
study-
understand why she had to do it every day. Yeah.
Yeah. I also don't understand, like, why do you have to clean every day? But then again, like, if a cockroach, if you see a cockroach like going around your house, it makes you want to clean it out. Damn it, I should have cleaned more.
Okay, so we talked briefly about like our family and then our experience as a child. Let's go back to the main topic of today, which is advice.
Advices, yeah.
Yeah, you said like you love receiving advice, right? So what is the most memorable advice you have ever received from your parents?
From my parents.
Yeah.
From my parents, well, I have a memorable advice I received from someone, but they're not my parent. They weren't my parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the advice was very simple. I think that's why it kind of stuck to me. It was, don't think, just do.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was very surprising because, like, for those of you who know, that was a line in Top Gun. No, it was Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick, yeah, but also Nike commercial. Like, just do it. Yeah, like
just do it.
Yeah. I knew about Just Do It, but I didn't know about Top Gun Maverick because I heard about this advice before the movie came out. And it was don't think, just do. And when I first heard that advice, I didn't really understand it. It didn't like have a big impact to me because it was very similar to the Nike one. I was like, I already know it. Like, just do it. Like, you know, like just do like what's there. It didn't really have a big impact, but I think the more like challenges that I faced, it kind of stuck to me because I'm the type of person that overthinks. I think a lot. I worry a lot, and when there's something that didn't even happen yet, I kind of think about it. I get stuck on it. I'm like, oh, this might happen, but this might also happen. I kind of play out all these different scenarios, and I start worrying about each one of them that didn't even happen.
Yeah.
Right. So I would like think about it a lot, and the more I think about it, the more scenarios I come up with it, and the more hesitant I become to do something that I'm supposed to do. Right?
Yeah. Right.
So I think like when I kind of lack courage to do something, or when I feel lazy, or just anything, like I know I'm supposed to do it, but I keep like thinking and I keep coming up with excuses or scenarios that I shouldn't do it, or it's better I can do it next time or something.
Right.
Yeah. So whenever that moment came up to me, I would think about that advice, which was don't think, just do. And like every time I applied it, it helped me out and it made sense. Like the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. And right now, that's like the advice that I'm living by. It's kind of becoming my life motto. Is don't think, just do. Because I think a lot of people nowadays they think a lot. Right. They worry about things that haven't like even happened yet, or might not even happen probably, right? Yeah. And you worry about those, and you let that like kind of get in your way. So just don't think, just do.
Yeah. They is me.
Really?
I am they.
You overthink a lot.
I overthink things.
Yeah, same. I used to overthink a lot.
So when did you like receive the advice, or like what kind of context? Like, can you give us some more context?
I think it was I forgot when it was actually. It was at a time where I kind of thought about my career, because there was a time where, like, when your major, the major you're studying, right, it gets a bit too difficult. You start thinking like, is this the right path for me, or am I supposed to do other things? Or like you start getting like confused about what you should do in the future. So there was a time where I was facing the same challenge. I didn't know what I wanted to do in the future. And I really felt it felt very pointless, like living life, right? Because I don't know what I wanted. I didn't have a goal. I didn't have like an end picture. So what's the point of doing things right now, right? But after a time like of being lazy and not doing anything, I felt very useless and like I was wasting my time, right? So I think that's when I received the advice, like just don't think, just do. Like do whatever it is. Like whatever it is, just do it. And think about it afterwards.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I think that's why it kind of had a bigger impact on me, because it really, I got that advice at a time when I really needed it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
Right. I think it's the timing with advice. The timing is really important as well.
Yeah. Like it might be a good advice, but if it's bad timing, it might not really hit as hard.
Yeah, you might not understand it.
Exactly. Yeah. How about you? Do you have any memorable advice that you can give us?
So, since we were talking about parents, and I got a lot of advice from my mom, the thing that came up to the top of my head is like, okay, so let me ask people, everybody, and Kun a question. Just yes or no. Would you lend your friends like money? A big amount of money, yes?
Oh. Yeah, I guess it depends on like how close and what are they gonna do with the money.
Yeah, will you?
Depends on the person.
Depends on the person. Let's say it's like your close friends, and they asking for like 5 million won, if you have it. Like I mean, yeah.
Maybe.
In person. If it's online, it might be a scam.
Oh, okay, in person.
Oh, you're a very trusting person.
How are you? Okay. 5 million won. Your closest friend.
I think so, yeah. Maybe. But it depends how, like, if I have 5 million, if that's the only money I have, maybe not. But,
Okay.
you know, like, assuming that
Let's say you have like 8 million.
Okay, like, assuming that I have money left afterwards, then maybe, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say,
I actually like had experience in life and reflect back to this advice and then realize that it's like a very I guess true things for me as well. But the advice is, if you were gonna lend the money to your friends, make sure that you prepare yourself to first of all lose that money, and second of all lose that friendship. Yeah, so for example, if you are asking, let's say you're my close friend, and you're asking me for like 5 million won, if I'm gonna be okay with that there's a chance that you're not gonna pay me back, and there's a chance that because you can't pay me back, we can't be friends anymore, then I'll give you the money.
Right, that makes so much sense now.
So to be honest, I'm not gonna lend someone 5 million won if I have 8 million, because for me personally, at the time, at that kind of time, it's just too much. Like, and first of all, I can, like, it's kind of like a financial strain for me, and also I don't want to lose friend over 5 million. Yeah.
But let's say you have like a lot of money.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
So like if 5 million won is like money that you can't afford to lose, then you'll do it. But
of course, like if my friends just like asking me for like an 5만 won right now, I'm like, yeah, here you go. Like I'm okay with losing it, and if I lose it, if you don't pay me back, I'm fine. Yeah, we can still be friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense actually.
Yeah.
I like kind of treat money, like I'm kind of sensitive when it comes to money.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like money is a very sensitive topic.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, like especially like if you imagine yourself, like someone, like a close friend comes up to you and like asks you for money, like how do you respond to that? Like, are you supposed to lend money? But like if you don't lend money, like it kind of shows like your friendship also. So
yeah,
it's a sensitive topic.
Yeah, exactly. So one more question, like do you ask people about like what they do with the money that they lend from you?
Oh yeah, that's like a must for me. Like if you're borrowing money from me, you have to like kind of not necessarily convince me, but you have to make me understand like why you need that money.
Yeah.
And like why from me and not from let's say a bank or like like the proper channels of borrowing money. Like why do you need it from me, and like why couldn't you get it from like let's say a bank or like something more like official?
Actually, before I thought like, okay, it's none of my business, I don't have to ask, but then I heard someone said like it's actually safer to ask, because if they use that kind of money to do something illegal, it might go
exactly,
back to you.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a smarter things to do.
Yeah, you have to know like what you're getting into because
Right.
at the end of the day, it's your money.
Exactly, yeah. We talked about like the most memorable or the best advice. What is the worst advice you've
advice.
received from your parents or from anyone? So
Worst
worst here, I
advice.
mean, like maybe it's not applicable to your situation, or you used to think that it's true, but then now, when as you grow up, you think, oh, maybe it's not very, yeah.
I don't know if I could say this was an advice, but it was like a saying. And now, like I thought about it because we were talking about money. It was the saying that money can't buy everything. you know how people say money can't buy everything, right? So when I was young, and you're still naive about the world and all that, I really agreed with that saying because like there were a lot of things money can't buy. Money can't buy like happiness or friends or all those things, right? Like money can't buy time, money can't buy love, right? Right? There were like so many things. Like the more like you can just keep going on and on. And like, I think as I got older, I started realizing like the power of money, and of course like it's not good. It's unhealthy to be like obsessed with money.
Yeah, it's not end all be all. Yeah.
But I kind of started realizing that money can buy everything because of like how much power it holds. Like with money, you can do like so much things. And I think what really hit me was when I realized that money can in fact buy time. Because like I think I forgot what I think the analogy was public transportation, right? So if you go from point A to point B, there are different ways of going, and that different like methods differ by the amount of money you pay, right? So it could be a bus, which is with like you have to stop you have to follow the route, you have to stop at every stop. Or there's also going by a taxi, which just takes you from point A to point B, but it's obviously more expensive, right? So if you pay more money, you can save that time that you would spend, because if you go from point A to point B by bus, it takes like 30 minutes, but by a cab, it only takes like 10 minutes. You bought yourself technically 20 minutes of time by spending more. Yeah, so I think that's like kind of how like I started realizing like, oh, money can buy time, and like what else can money buy? And like, it kind of worked against that saying, like, oh, money can, like, if you have money, there are all these things that you can do, and it also kind of buys you freedom. I think that's like what hit me the biggest.
Yes.
Like, money can buy you freedom. If you have money, you can do whatever you want. Like, you don't have to go to work. You don't have to, get up at this time and go to work the whole day, spend your whole, like, spend your time working. Well, instead of doing that, if you have money, you can, spend time with your family or spend time with your friends, your loved ones, because I realized like time is the best resource that anyone can have.
Right.
Right? Like no one knows when you're gonna die. So that's when I started realizing like, oh yeah, that saying is not true at all. Like money can buy everything. Like if you have money, there's like nothing you can't do.
Yeah. So I actually agree that money can or cannot buy everything is like a bit extreme, but the power of money it's huge.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you have a lot of money, most, if not all of your problems can be solved.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have an exam, if you have a lot of money, you won't have to study for an exam because you don't have to go to school. Right? So that's when I realized like money can kind of buy everything. Like, I'm sure there's like that gray area where there's some things that you can't put a price tag on, but like if you think about it in a bigger like sense, I think money can kind of buy everything.
Yeah, so I think money can buy love, but money can ruin love.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so yes, still in a way it can buy.
Yeah, it can buy, yeah.
So very abstract things still affected by money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How about you? What was the worst advice you've ever received?
Okay, so since we're talking about love, my mom used to say like, okay, so this is like a rephrase. She didn't say this, but she kind of said like, oh, my mom appears so much today. Hi, Mom. But she said, love is a game. Yeah, so in a game, you kind of you don't let your opponent or your partner knows your next move, or like you have to always, you know, let them guessing, and then you can always like be frank, and you have to be like 눈치 봐. And at first I was like, oh yeah, that's how love goes, because all the media content also portray love that way. But as I grow up, I think, you know, communication is just much more important. It's like much more important than, you know, playing the games and like being all like push and pull. It takes a lot of time, and I don't think it's effective.
Like I think like in any relationship, whether it's like romantic or like friendship, like communication
as well,
is just like the best, like the number one thing, because like everything just kind of stems out from there, like trust, or like how much, like basically trust, right? It's like one of the most important thing in a relationship. So I think communication, like instead of playing the game, like even if you play the game and you win the game, like, what's the point?
What's the point? Exactly.
Like, you won the game, but like you just, that's it. You just won the game. You didn't win like in a relationship.
So you know, once I grew up and, you know, actually reflect upon the advice that I received, some advice might, you know, the meaning might change. So let's talk about, when did you feel like you became an adult? You know, because it affects your, you know, cognitive a lot.
I think like when I came to university, that's kind of when I started feeling like an adult. Not because of like, you know, like when you're university students, there are people who like live alone, right? Or they're more independent because they do these things alone. But I think it was when I started realizing that like you're in your life, you're alone. Right? Like, there's no one else that's gonna live your life for you.
Oh my God.
Right? Like, sure, you have friends, you have family, you have, like, if you're in a relationship, you have your partner and all that. But, like, at the end of the day, when something happens, they might be there for you.
Right.
But your life is your own.
Right.
Like, there's certain things, there's certain problems that they can't solve for you. They can support you, they can be there for you, right? They can cheer you on, but there's certain things that they can't solve for you, and you have to solve it for yourself. And I think like when I came to university, that's kind of like when I started realizing that there are problems that only I can and have to solve. So I think that's when I started realizing maybe this is what it's like being an adult, like living your own life.
Was there a story behind why you realized that?
Well, it was like, I think, because I said like there are certain problems that you can't solve, right? So I think that problem for me was what I wanted to do in the future. Because as I was studying, I did not want to get a 9-to-5 job. Like, I despised it. I hated everything about it. And I realized it more and more every time I come to school, because like because I study in the engineering side, right? And so I take the subway. Right. And when you come out of Annam Station, you have to walk up the hill, and there are like so many other students walking the same direction as you. And like it hit me one day when I was walking. I was like, oh, like this is what it's gonna be like for the rest of my life. Oh my God! If I get a 9-to-5 job, right? Like right now it's going to school, but later on it's going to be going to the office or something. Like, I'm going to have to do this, go to work 9-to-5. After the job, I have to go home to, like, you know, go through this again. And I hated it. And I just thought to myself, like, if I continue like studying, you know, in this university and I graduate, I'm going to get a job. Like, do I really want that? Right? And like, I think that's kind of like the problem I had to face. Like, what do I really want to do? Because I know what I don't want to do, but that doesn't mean I know what I want to do. Right. So yeah, I kind of had to figure it out. Like, what do I want to do? What kind of life do I want to live? Right? So yeah, that's when I started like just sitting down and like thinking about it, like what life do I want to live? And as I did that, it felt like I was becoming more of an adult.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I was picturing you walking up the hill and like realizing stuff in your head. Like I thought you had like a main character moment right there.
like character development.
I have the whole scenes in my head right now. I actually have kind of similar situation. Like so, I actually didn't feel like I was an adult when I first moved out of the house because at first I had a roommate. And for me, as long as I have some kind of companion, I feel like I would be fine. I don't really feel lonely or anything. So back then, I just that didn't hit me like I'm becoming or I became an adult. But when I came here, I actually had to start living alone.
Yeah.
And so I always thought like I'm an I, so I need my time alone and I'll be fine being alone. But actually, no.
Yeah.
No, I need companion.
Yeah,
I need
exactly.
people around me. And it was during one of my depressive episodes that I actually realized, okay, like this is adulthood. Adulthood is so lonely. Yeah. So, I don't know who said this, but someone must have said it. But, adulthood is loneliness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that sadly was when I realized. Yeah.
I mean, like being an adult is also fun.
I mean,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Like there are fun parts of being an adult, right? Like you can. Yeah, there are fun parts. I'm sure there are fun parts. I can't just think of them right now. I'm sure there are, but yeah.
But
do you guys want to go back to be a child? Do you guys want to go back to be a child?
Oh.
if we delete math out of the equation, then yes. Like I'm being very honest. I'm not even being like.
You must have like hated math as a kid.
It scared me to death. I'm being very serious. But I feel like friendship was much more easier back then, and then you always have your parents around you. Like sometimes they could be annoying, but then you always have them by your side, and you always have like warm meals waiting for you at home. Yeah. So yes, without math.
For me, I think no. Because I thought about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you mentioned, like, at first I thought about that also, like, it doesn't sound nice, like, life was, like, it seemed like life was easier back then, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I also thought about, like, what life is like now, and it feels, it's difficult, it's definitely more difficult, but it feels more free, right? Like, now it feels, like, it actually feels like, what I get is what I worked for, right? Like if I'm lazy, then what I'm gonna get is not good.
Right.
If I work hard for it, at least I'm gonna get something out of it, right? Like it feels like I'm becoming more me,
Yeah.
right? Like when you're younger, it's like you're also like they're your friends. Like you have to like your friends, your parents, like all those like kind of play into who you are.
Yeah.
But like now that now that I'm an adult, it feels like now I have to kind of build myself more instead of like letting like my friends or my parents, like they don't really affect me.
Like because you said that, I thought of something like a pro for adulthood is that we know the importance of having our own thoughts and ideas, and we actually are pretty confident to some extent about the thoughts and ideas that we have. Yeah, so I think that's a pros.
Yeah, I mean like being an adult is not all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not all bad.
Don't be scared.
It's just
Kid.
difficult, but it's not all bad.
Yeah.
It has its good side.
Yeah, we're not trying to discourage anyone.
Like, how can we discourage them? Like they're gonna stop growing up or something.
So we talked about what we think about advice. Now let's hear from others. Our team had interviews with fellow students and professor, and I'm excited to know what they had to say about this topic. I sound just so excited.
I'm so excited to hear about what they have to say, right?
Yeah, but do you have any expectations or predictions?
Predictions?
Or expectations?
Expectations. Okay. I'm not expecting like, like something very big, but I'm just curious who's gonna come out and what they have to say, right? Like maybe it's someone I know, right? Yeah, I'm curious who's gonna come out. All right, so let's hear it from the others.
My mother told me to never judge anyone, even if I thought I knew them, because I didn't know what situation they were truly in. And my father impressed upon me the importance of trying everything that I could, because he felt that at any given time you could enter a situation that you might not understand but could be very beneficial to you.
I remember that it was a really simple sentence, like life is fun. He was like always studying and always writing a report or a thesis. And like writing a report is not fun at all. But my father said that life is fun. So I think that's really impressive to me.
The most repeated advice that I got from my mom throughout my entire life was that I should not quit my job even after I get married. My dad had to go to the US for his master's degree. And back then, my mom was middle school Korean language and literature teacher. And they did not have like this sort of family leave policy for women. So to support my dad and to raise two kids, she had to just basically quit her job. That became her biggest regret in her life.
I feel like an adult when there's no one who can actually tell me what's best for my life. Like, for example, like right now I am considering double majoring something, but there's no one actually who can actually tell me, oh, this is the best way, and in this way you can actually be really successful and earn lots of money, like become famous. Like, I have to choose everything by myself, and it's all up to me.
I don't think there's such thing as ever feeling like you're an adult. There's always stages that you might think that you're an adult, but I think you have this kind of mission in your life that you always learn new lessons, no matter what age you are.
I think becoming an adult is being financially independent from your parents. So I think a lot of Korean students are reliant on their parents financially up until college years, and I was the same. The second year of my master's program, I got a job as hagwon teacher, private teacher, and then I became truly independent from my parents. And I did feel like I was an adult, and I guess I realized that becoming an adult really involves a lot of responsibilities. It's not an easy life. You have to work hard, and I guess I also kind of became appreciative of my parents too, because they also worked really hard to feed me and my brother.
I think this was the moment that my wife and I decided that we want to try to have children. Then you just realize this responsibility that you're about to take on, and that you walk a path where you'll forever have people who you're responsible for. And this moment is just amazing, that you realize that you're capable of something like that.
Yes, probably, but I also think that you change every single day. So you can look back at yesterday and already give yourself advice from the day before, and that's how it's going to be like in 10 years, in 20 years, and in 30 years as well.
Teenager especially, you tend to take everything very seriously. You think that things are a lot more important than they are sometimes, and when you grow up you learn how to put things into context and realize that some things that might seem like big deals really don't matter much in the big picture, and things that other people think of you actually don't affect you very much, and that frees you a lot more to do what really makes you happy.
It is study hard and you will be able to be successful. That was that. Actually, it is partially true, but it doesn't have to be like studying. It can be whatever you like or whatever you are good at. So do not just focus on studying.
What do you think? Was there anything that resonate with you, or?
For me, what I remember the most was I think it was the second person. It was like he said that his father told him that life was fun.
Yeah, life's fun.
And he said like writing reports and thesis, that's not fun. And I was like, I feel you. Life is not fun. Yeah, but I think it really put things into perspective for me. That advice, like life is fun. Like, if you think life is fun, you're gonna enjoy life. But if you focus on the hardships and the challenges, it's gonna be difficult. It's not gonna be fun, right? Yeah, so.
I like your interpretation.
Yeah, like if you think like. I mean, writing a report and thesis, that's not fun, right? But if you focus all your energy and all your time on writing a thesis, your life is not going to be fun. But if you like take breaks in between, or like you try to enjoy like life while you do something, like writing the thesis or report, then life is going to be a bit more fun than just focusing on the difficulties and the challenges, right?
And his father might think writing a report is fun.
Yeah.
Like people who does math for fun. I don't understand them, but for them it's fun.
Yeah, like people, we respect people.
Yeah.
and their likes and dislikes.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah, I mean, like people who are taking math might come after you after. Like, she said we're weird. Yeah.
I mean, they are real, but okay. Yeah, for me, it was the man who said he never actually felt like an adult, or he doesn't believe in like ever feeling like you are actually an adult. And yeah, I think so. Yeah, like sometimes when people look at me and suppose that I have to do this or this, or like they rely on me because I was supposed to be an adult, and I was like, don't look at me. I'm just a child who's happened to be like 25.
Yeah, I think that was also like that was interesting to me because like it made me think like. It's true, like you know, like you feel like you're an adult at some point, but as you go on, you face a bigger challenge. And
exactly.
You're like, oh, well, I was an adult. I wasn't an adult, and
exactly.
like you get over that, and you just continue like facing more and more difficult and bigger challenges, and you're like, oh, maybe I wasn't an adult until this, and you grow up every time. So yeah, it made sense.
Yeah, you learn new things.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have a last question for you guys. After talking about all the advice you have received, do you have any advice you want to give?
To who?
To your friends, anybody.
Advice I want to give? Okay. Well, like how I started the video, I said like I don't like giving advices, right? Because of like what like if I take it the wrong way or like the responsibility that comes after. But I think it's the same as the advice that really had a big impact on me, which is just don't think, just do. Because I noticed like a lot of people think a lot more than they're supposed to, or a lot more than is healthy, right? Because if you overthink, you come up with all these worries and all these scenarios, and there's a point in time where that becomes unhealthy, right? Because there's being prepared and there's being overly cautious, or you're overthinking and making that like it affects your life. So I think there's a fine line between that, but just doing something without thinking that much, it really helps a lot. Just do first and think later. I think I'd say that's a pretty safe advice to give people.
And it helped you. It helped you.
Yeah,
advice,
it did. It did help me a lot.
Yeah.
What's yours about?
I mean, I like giving advice, but I have so many thoughts. I just like it's helpful if I know who to give.
University student like us.
Student, okay.
In their 20s.
Okay, so I'll say for university students, especially, you can learn a lot in university, but it doesn't have to be like in the book. So I think the most valuable thing that I got out of my previous university is the lesson that I learned from my peers. Either like their attitudes towards life or their work ethics or their way of doing certain things. And I think that is much more important. And then the connection, the network that you have when you're in university is very important, and I think it affects your life a lot. So try to, reach out to more people and try to learn from them. Reaching out for people, I think it's very hard. I struggle with it as well, but just try your best. Just do it. Just do it,
Yeah,
like Kun said.
We should probably get like a sponsor from Nike at this point, right? Yeah.
Nike, sponsor us.
Yeah.
You know they sponsor Yonsei?
They have hoodies for young sisters, like free hoodie for young sisters.
Free?
Yeah, it's free.
I didn't know that.
Or what's our school doing?
Adidas.
What's Adidas logo? I don't know their slogan.
Okay.
Wow,
Anyway,
wow.
somewhat.
They have free hoodies in Yonsei?
Yeah. Yeah.
What am I doing here? Where's my free hoodie?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I think that's the advice. So that's it for today. How do you feel?
I feel good. It's like a very good break from studying and all the stress and having to worry about midterms, right? It's a good break. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel great as well. It's been a really long time since we last do this and we last did this, and I just like conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Like,
Yeah. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Thank you guys for listening to the end of this podcast. And if you have any suggestions or if there's any topic that you want us to discuss about, please leave a comment in the comment section.
And I hope we do listen to all the good advices that we get in life. And maybe if there were some in today's video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also don't forget to like and subscribe. I
Okay.
feel like a YouTuber saying that. Never thought the day would come
you
and I
are.
would say, oh yeah.
You are.
Yeah, this is on YouTube, right?
You are. Okay. So thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.